Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football. It's been a week. We've been kind of hibernating after the result last week against Serbia.
Well, not really hibernating, just like
still boogieing.
Yeah, still boogieing.
Still boogieing. It's good to be back though, David. Of course, sitting in front of the camera and the backdrop behind us. We're here today to talk about the national team as the break comes to an end. Tonight is the last game. You feeling confident against Israel tonight?
Yeah, it's a bit annoying though because we're getting a position where we might have to win. We've got a match, Czech Republic's result at least, to top the group. Should do it though, because like Dykes will come back in tonight.
Well, I mean, Israel have become like the old enemy, haven't they? We've seen them so many bloody times in the past.
We're getting better and better. We beat them when we were pretty average anyway. We're getting better and better. I think we'll be fine again tonight. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it though.
It's an occasion now where Steve Clark will probably get the normal team back together, knowing that it's a game that we kind of have to win.
Yeah.
You'll see the likes of Dykes, as you said, come back.
Robertson's a doubt, but I think he might play. I think it was just precautionary he left out on Sunday.
You know, there's a lot of questions over team selection, but look, ultimately we went into this international break with one aim, and we accomplished that. It would be nice for us to win tonight. It'd be nice for us to top the group.
Playing against the big boys in the next Nations League if we win tonight.
Yep, exactly. And is that where we go back to reality as a nation if we get into that?
That's what you want to be though. You always want to be.
You want to test. It's the same situation as I always say with Celtic. You want to be in the Champions League because you want to be forever improving.
And also,
there's
a World Cup playoff spot. This is a pathway to getting that for 2022. So we've got to keep that on the table as well.
A wee trip to Qatar on the cards.
That'd be lovely.
Would it?
Yeah, why not? Of course it would.
No drinking?
I couldn't give a shit where we go as long as.
Have you not seen? So have you? I've told you to watch this before. Have you ever seen the Gary Neville documentary on Qatar?
No, I've heard about it though.
It's really good, but it's fascinating at the fact that in Qatar, right, when the World Cup is on, the rules in Qatar are this: when you can't drink unless you're living in a 5-star hotel. That's the only places you can drink. But for the World Cup, they've given it a buy. Fans are allowed to drink, but only in one designated fan zone in the whole city. So when you think about it, you're going to have the nations of all around gathering.
If there's a country that you trust to make the infrastructure for that work, it would be Qatar.
I know the Polish running about their camels, getting ready to strike on everybody.
Absolutely superb.
We're keeping up with international hype, and we're making a video which some will maybe say is a bit premature.
No, it's not.
But
Euro fever, baby.
But it's good to see where we'll be right now compared to when we remake this video in 7 months' time, because we'll come at the end of the season, 7-8 months, whatever it is.
How mad's that? The season's going to finish this year. We're going to be like buzzing.
It's going to be even bigger.
I should probably be quite excited.
In Scotland, we are currently living in a world where this season domestically is the biggest of a generation. And we're going to go right off the back of it into the biggest international.
What a way to unite the country after that, after the disaster that's going to happen in May, one way or the other.
Oh God, do you think it'll unite them?
No, not really. Anyway,
so we're going to pick
our
23-man squad. So we're taking the role of Stevie Clark up here, and we're going to pick who we think should go to the Euros. It is very difficult. Both of us have sat down in our own respective rooms and had a look over the players that we were going to take to the Euros. And I guess there is only one place to start, and that is at the back of the pitch with the goalkeeper.
Davy Marshall. Nah.
I mean, it's pretty set in stone, the three keepers, surely.
No.
Have you changed yours?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've got one. One guy. It's not like he's an unknown, but it's.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll start off with my three keepers then, because mine remains unchanged. I'm taking Gordon, Marshall, and John McLaughlin.
Okay.
That's the three I'm taking. I don't think there's any reason for them to change unless we see signs of it over the next year. John McLaughlin perhaps won't play as much football as maybe some other options, but look, if he's not playing a lot of football, he's not going to be playing any at the Euros anyway, so it's not going to make a massive difference. He's a quality keeper at times. I'm going with the same three.
I think that third spot is, well, obviously I've got Marshall and Gordon. That third spot's an interesting one because they're probably almost definitely not going to play.
Yep.
David Marshall and Craig Gordon will almost definitely not play if we get to the World Cup in Qatar in 2022.
That would be done, do you think?
Almost definitely.
I mean,
Gordon
definitely.
Marshall will be 38, maybe 37, 38.
Is it that old?
I think he's 35 just now.
So he'll be 38.
So it's touch and go. Marshall makes that, but even then, I'm not totally sure. So my third spot's going to go to Robbie McCrory, just because.
Oh, right, okay.
Third spot is. You give a young goalkeeper an experience of going to a major tournament. When was the last time a goalie at that age for Scotland was at a major tournament?
I suppose
Gordon never had that. Marshall never had that when they were that age.
The advantage of giving it to Robbie McCrory is he's not going to play. No. He's not going to get an appearance at a finals unless push came to shove and we found two goalkeepers out injured. The only thing for me is I don't think McCrory's been very convincing, and that's why
he's young though. That's the thing, and that's the
he's got a year to improve. I
think everyone's talked about mentality shift in terms of like Scotland are now a team who can qualify for major tournaments. We need to start getting that with young players, and it's my biggest criticism of Scotland managers for a long time is that they don't chuck the young players in. Unless they're not going to play, I think it should be a great experience for him. I think the country would gain more from having Robbie McCrory as that third choice than John McLaughlin in terms of looking forward to the future.
Fair enough. So goalkeepers will be covered very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no much of a debate to have. Of course, we have differed, and that means our squads have so far got one difference. One difference for, for the people to vote from. Defence. I'm really boring, David. I've not made a lot of changes. I'll tell you that.
I haven't put anyone new in.
I was toying with the idea of removing Greg Taylor. That was the only thing that I was going to change about the defence, and I was going to bring in another attacker. But when I think about it, if Robertson goes out and we want to play 5, I'd rather Tierney still in the position he's been playing.
But then when our centre halves are playing so well, you're not trusting to fill. Like Cooper could play that left centre half.
I would rather just have the safety, the security of having Tierney being able to play that position all the time.
But I think you don't think we'd be stronger with Tierney and Cooper than Taylor and Tierney, no? You don't rather have Cooper than Taylor?
I think I'd rather play Taylor and Tierney. I think I would. But I'm going with the exact same defence as well. I've no changed anything. I've gone for Andy Considine. Look, he's got a big year to prove himself now. You know, he's got into the squad by hook or by crook. He has become the marketing campaign for the Scottish national team. Purely, you've got to pick him for the banter. You know, you've got
Andy
to pick
Considine's
him.
not going to the Euros.
Do you know think he's not? Do you know think he'll go?
He was honking at the weekend. He's no chance he's going to the Euros.
Look, if Steve Clarke has any ambition for ticket sales and shirt sales,
it won't make a difference. Steve Clarke's ruthless. I don't see any way Steve Clarke.
I'm keeping the same line. Look, I think Considine, if he has a good year for Aberdeen, there's no reason why he can't get in. Everybody has a bad game. I know he didn't play great at the weekend, but look, come on. He's been solid. He's deserved a moment like this.
But you can't be sentimental about this. This is too big to be sentimental.
I know, but is he going to play that much anyway? Let's be honest. Like, realistically, Scotland, I have faith we can reach a last.
So I've probably picked a less amount of defenders than you have, but I've picked guys who will all feature.
So have you just dropped Considine?
No.
Oh no, alright, okay.
So I've got O'Donnell, Palmer, Tierney, Gallagher, Cooper, Robertson, McTominay and McKenna.
Alright, okay.
So I've got no Taylor, no Considine.
I've got McTominay down as a midfielder from I know he plays in defence,
so
but I've got him down as a midfielder. I've gone
all of them will play for me.
So I've gone for Considine, Cooper, Gallagher, McKenna, O'Donnell, Palmer, Robertson, Taylor and Tierney. The exact same list of defenders that we took. Of course, McTominay will be used as a defender, you can imagine, but I have picked that exact same lineup. I don't see need for change. Look, I think if you drop Considine and you want to bring in an attacker, fair enough. For me, I've got enough attackers in my team to justify taking them. I think I've got a good enough midfield.
I just can't see a world in which Steve Clarke will take Andy Considine to the Euros.
Why
would he take Considine, not Ryan Porteous at that point? I mean, I get
come on, you take Considine at Porteous.
Well,
I know you'll bring up.
I don't get why we take Considine if you're saying you're taking him, but he's not going to play.
Porteous wouldn't play.
Yeah, but then
Porteous wouldn't play either.
But Andy Considine is not going to play for Scotland for years to come.
But what's he going to get from this experience? We've still got we're still going to have international breaks here and there. We're going to have we've got years to develop afterwards.
Can Considine be playing like in 2021 for Scotland?
I don't think that. I don't see why we should hold that against players like this for not giving them a chance at the
But I also don't think we should give them for banter and
I'm putting that aside for a minute. I'm going to give my actual reasoning here. I would rather go with the players who are going to give quality rather than looking ahead at the minute. We give these guys, the guys that we want to give a chance in the future, have under 21s teams for a reason, and they have friendlies for a reason, and they have other international.
But that's the mentality that's held us back for ages. Andy Considine's played much better than Ryan Porteous.
So I think one thing Stevie Clarke has been spot on with is he is picking the players who are playing well at their clubs, whether it be England or Scotland. I'm not saying Porteous isn't playing well.
I'd argue he's played better for Hibs than Considine's played for Aberdeen this season.
Do you think so?
Yeah, Hibs have been very good defensively this season.
Aberdeen have been better defensively this season.
I think Porteous has been fantastic. I
think that performance against Rangers, it showed how good he can be. I think Considine has been solid for Aberdeen. Aberdeen fans are ranting and raving about him. I know Colby from Don's talk, he's loving him this season. I think right now
I don't actually have Ryan Porteous in my team.
I'm not saying that it's got to happen just because he's sitting dancing in Brian's skirt, but I don't see any reason to drop him. I think he's playing well enough at this moment in time, and as I said at the start of the video, we will come back next year and we will talk about what has happened come the end of the season, and we'll discover whether or not Considine deserves to be in. But right now there is no reason why he shouldn't be in for me. And you might say he had a bad game at the weekend.
A number of reasons why he shouldn't be in, but
just because he had a bad game at the weekend.
No, because what age is he now?
But mate, we've got player. What age is? Lee Griffiths is coming up 30. We're going to take him.
So you think Andy Considine's going to have the same impact in Scotland that Lee Griffiths will?
No, we're talking about ages.
It's not a valid argument.
We're talking about ages here.
Exactly.
We're taking Marshall and Gordon, who are 35 and 38 years old.
Yes, and what impact are they going to have on the squad?
Marshall, a very big one.
Exactly.
Gordon, none.
Well, yes, if Marshall gets injured. Whereas if Gallagher gets injured, Considine won't come in your team. You fit it yourself. You don't think he'll play.
I'm not dropping him, mate. You can't convince me. I think Considine's a decent man to have in depth there. We're looking at somebody who's made over 500
You think
Scottish
he's the 23
Premiership
top
appearances.
Scottish players?
Right, I'm going to give you my backup list of defenders, right? I'm going to give you my backup list right now, and you tell me. I know you've made
don't think you need that many defenders.
You've made your case for Ryan Porteous, right? So I'll exclude him just now. Grant Hanley, Paul Hanlon, Paul McGinn, and Michael Devlin. Do you think Considine is better than any of them?
I don't get why you take 9 defenders in a 23-man squad.
We play 5 at the back. I think we need defenders more than
so if you look at, I've got O'Donnell and Palmer can cover right wing back. Palmer can also play right of the back 3, which is doing regularly for Sheffield Wednesday. You've got Gallagher, Cooper who can play any of those roles, as does McKenna. McTominay also a centre half. Tierney can play centre half and wing back, and Roberts can play wing back. So you've got 2 for each position.
So
you've also got McTominay who can cover midfield. This is such a tight squad.
Pardon me for taking safety into account and just want to be secure. Look, I think we'll let the rest of the team speak for itself, and by the end of it you can come back to me and Considine all you're like, I still think the rest of my squad is good enough to justify Considine being involved in my squad.
Okay, right, let's go.
Right, so we're going to the midfielders. Right, can we run through the defenders just very quickly again? I've gone with Andy Considine, Liam Cooper, Declan Gallagher, Scott McKenna, Stephen O'Donnell, Liam Palmer, Andy Robertson, Greg Taylor and Kieran Tierney. And you've gone for?
O'Donnell, Palmer, Tierney, Gallagher, Cooper, Robertson, McTominay and McKenna.
So on the midfielders, and just to clarify, I'm taking McTominay before anybody starts jumping saying why you're not taking our best centre half. Scott McTominay is coming with me.
So you had how many defenders and then McTominay? Have you got 10 defenders?
It would appear so, yes. 10 defenders.
So you've got 13 players in that squad who aren't going to play in the back in the defence.
We'll come at the end. I'm telling you.
And you're still thinking the space for Andy Considine?
My squad, I think, is good. I'm justified with the rest of my picks, and you'll see, I don't think any of the guys I've got my backup list here are needed
right, let's
in the squad.
Midfield. I've got 6 guys listed midfielders, but obviously McTominay can play midfield if we have an injury crisis. And I've also got some attackers who may or may not be able to play in the midfield. So I've got John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Ryan Jack, Stuart Armstrong, and this is where I've got 2 shock picks. This is me kind of picking for June 2021 guys who I think will deserve the shot come then. Right, I've got Billy Gilmore and Lewis Ferguson.
Right, okay, understand. So here's my so obviously we went down different routes. I've gone with experience at the back, and you've gone with bringing in youth in the midfield. Billy Gilmore, when's he due back?
He's back now.
Is he back? Aye,
yeah.
Is he back? Billy Gilmore is somebody I kind of floated around the idea of bringing. I like the idea. For me, I don't think he's going to play a great deal of football for Chelsea this season.
Planning to send him out on loan in January.
That depends where he goes. If it goes through, if it happens, maybe I'll have him in my squad this time next year. There's no way for me to sit down and justify taking Billy Gilmore at the minute. He's a really.
But we're not taking him at the minute. We're taking him in 7 months' time.
No, in this video, I mean, don't you get.
The whole point of the video is that we're trying to predict what we think will happen.
This is what I do think will happen, but I don't think Gilmore will come. I just don't think it will happen. I'm being honest and realistic.
But it's not what you think will happen. It's what you want to happen.
We're judging my team. I don't think he gets in. I don't think he gets in my team. I think Gilmore is a cracking player. He's got 15 years to go in a Scotland jersey. There is no.
So we're going to do what we've done for 20 years.
No,
and just wait
not at all.
Like
At what age did we bring players like Darren Fletcher into the squad? He was in
young.
Barry Ferguson.
What happened to them?
Well, they never got
Barry Ferguson, Fletcher,
Arsenal.
The players we have blooded early have gone on to be the best
and has that been their fault? It's been managers.
Whereas Lee Griffiths, how long did we take to cap him? As soon as we capped him,
I have nothing to do with what managers have chose to do in the past.
You're following the same mistakes, but
no, I don't think so, because for me, Billy Gilmore is not as important. If Billy Gilmore is not going to get in the team over John McGinn, not going to get in the team over Ryan Jack, not going to get in the team over Stuart Armstrong, he's not going to get in the team over even Kenny McLean, in my eyes, he's not. So why would I take him?
You
when I'd rather have experience and rather have players who have been there and done it now.
You'd have relegated Norwich Kenny McLean over Billy Gilmore. What you've seen for Chelsea from him?
He was great. See, the wee bit of football he played last season, absolutely superb, really, really good. But Kenny McLean has been in the squad time and time again and done nothing wrong.
But he's done he's got a couple of penalties, but in open play, what's he?
But I mean, you've got to look at it realistically. You put 2 players side by side. You put Kenny McLean beside Billy Gilmore, right? None of them are going to get a serious amount of time at the Euros.
So why would you take Kenny McLean and not Billy Gilmore then? Who's going to be the biggest player for Scotland for the next 10 years? Kenny McLean or Billy Gilmore?
That's 10 years, that's no now. This isn't happening.
Yes, I know, but we can't just be like, who's going to benefit more from the experience of going and not playing? Billy Gilmour or Kenny McLean?
I'm sure Billy...
Who's going to help the country in the long term?
You're honestly telling me...
But your argument is, they're not going to play, but I'm taking them anyway.
Hold on, you're not letting me... That's
what your argument is.
You're not letting me get my point here. You're telling me Billy Gilmour isn't going to get experience for playing for one of the biggest clubs in England anyway in the next few years, playing in Champions League football, playing the highest league of Premier League football. He's not good enough to play against Kenny McLean who's relegated with Norwich. I'm not saying that he's no, I'm just saying I'm not taking him for this tournament, I'm taking Kenny McLean. I don't think Gilmour gets in my squad, and I'm sticking by that. I don't. He's not going to play this season. He's not going to.
You know he's not going to play.
He's not going to play. Are you going to?
You didn't think he was going to play last year.
They've got a look at Chelsea's midfield now after the summer transfer.
Into last year, he played big games. Played against Man United. Played against Tottenham.
Chelsea are playing incredibly well at the minute. Is Lampard going to go? Let's bring Gilmour back in now.
Incredibly well.
They've started picking it up after the first couple of games of the season where they look poor. Gilmour's not getting in that team anytime soon. As you've already said, they're looking to loan him out. That says everything about his chances in the Chelsea squad this season.
Oh,
I don't know why you're holding your head. That is look
bizarre.
after the Euros, Billy Gilmour. Maybe if he's playing football, I would bring him into the squad. Right now, I don't see why I take him. I'd rather take the players who are playing football. And Billy Gilmour is not playing football. I don't know why you're shaking your head.
So long.
It's not the attitude that held us back. The attitude that held us back was playing players.
How does the country benefit from having Kenny McLean going and sitting on the bench?
What benefit do we have with Billy Gilmour sitting on the bench?
Are you actually seriously asking that question?
What is going to...
One of the most exciting young Scottish talents ever.
The whole idea of the Euros is to go and get as far in that tournament as possible. Billy Gilmour's not going to hang his head in shame.
Do you think Kenny McLean is a better footballer than Billy Gilmour? Do you think Kenny McLean's a better footballer than Billy Gilmour?
I wouldn't say he's a better footballer.
Do you think he's a better player than Billy Gilmour?
I think in terms of...
Do you think he's a better player than Billy Gilmour?
Who's playing football than him?
Do you think he's a better player than Billy Gilmour?
Right now, while I'm...
Answer the question!
The reason I
Answer the
have
question!
Made this...
Do you think he's a better player than Billy Gilmour? No, you don't. So why are you taking him?
I think he's...
You don't think
experience.
That. Don't let yourself
He's
down.
not even that old. Kenny McLean...
But do you think he's a better footballer than Billy Gilmour?
28 years old.
Do you think he's a better footballer than Billy
Gilmour? He's
Gilmour?
not exactly done.
Do you think he's a better footballer than Billy
You're
Gilmour?
just going to keep... You're
yes or no?
like Piers Morgan,
Answer the question.
No, I don't think he's a better player.
Exactly, so why would you take him?
Because it's...
You just said yourself, take your best players. You think he's better? Fucking hell, man.
I'm taking McLean. My midfield anyway, because I'm not even going to run through mine yet. I'm not even going to go through my midfield because you're holding me up for not taking Billy Gilmour. For me, my midfield is Stuart Armstrong, Ryan Christie, Ryan Jack, John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Kenny McLean, Scott McTominay, and James Forrest. That's my midfield. That's my midfield. Which I don't... Once again, in my team, do I feel like leaving out Billy Gilmour is going to make that much of an impact with the players I have picked? No, and that's my justification for not taking Billy Gilmour. I'm not saying he's not a good player, and I'm not saying that we should be looking out for him in the future.
But he's better than some players that you're taking, who play in the same position. But you're not taking him.
But Kenny, I'm also taking... I know you're saying it's not a time for sentiment, right? I understand that, and I really do. And
it's not Considine taking him instead of other defenders. It's why would you take Andy Considine and not take Billy Gilmour? For the good of the nation, for the good of the national team going forward. It's going to strengthen Scotland for years. You blood these guys at young ages.
I like the idea though of the guys who have helped us get here, getting the chance. If
they're
playing well, and they are
always held us back.
But they are actually playing well.
Strachan used to get slagged for it.
No, but this is the difference. Strachan was picking players like Barry Bannon who weren't playing well. Kenny McLean is playing well. Barry Bannon wasn't. Aye. Kenny McLean, I mean, he's for the minutes he's hit the park, came on and slotted right. First of all, I know it's not in the actual game itself, and the penalty shout is different, but he came on and scored that penalty.
Right, get McBurnie up, he scored a penalty.
Huge. McBurnie may or may not be in my team, who knows?
But also, just because I think you probably the Lewis Ferguson thing, I think he's been one of the best midfielders in Scotland.
I really like
he plays like this. I think there's almost
look, you're making it out as if I'm making it an easy decision. I sat there with Billy Gilmour and Lewis Ferguson on my sheet, determining whether or not to take them or not, and I just made them miss out by a ball hair. Like, I do like the idea of them going, and I'm not criticising you for taking them. I think it's just a hard choice that Stevie Clark is going to have, and it's a hard choice that we've had to make this video too. But I'm just going with the guys who right now, I mean, Kenny McLean is only 28, he's not past it, he's going to have an input if we need him, just as Billy Gilmour would as well, but right now I'm taking McLean. Come the end of the season, when we remake this, it'll be completely different.
See, when we did that first Israel prediction live, did you have Billy Gilmour on your team? I think you did, didn't you?
Back in... No, it was you had him, I didn't.
Right, okay.
You had him, I didn't.
But we were both very much the opinion you should be in the squad.
Aye.
So what's changed?
He got injured and he's not been playing football. That's what's changed. I think that's a very good justification for no pick.
But this is 7 months down the line. Now you think you don't look.
How many players have we ranted and raved about?
How many
players have we ranted and raved about, not just in Scotland and England, youngsters who have done incredibly well, got injured, came back and haven't been the same. How many has it been?
I don't think, whenever we had one who's played at the level Billy Gilmore did, I mean...
there's been tons in England. There's been tons of young players in England who
last season
not
he
been
was
as good.
dominating.
Even look at somebody
like,
I know this is a very, very, very different player because he was streets ahead of when he was young. Look at Michael Owen. Michael Owen was unbelievable. Got injured, was never the same. He was never the same player.
Yeah, but
I know but it's just the first player that's come in my head. There's so many players who are young,
but he was injured all the time.
Couldn't go back into the team.
Almost one injury. It's not like
I'm not saying he's got to be injured. I'm just saying, what if he does come back into that Chelsea team over the next year, or goes out on loan and he has a stinker? Would you take him then? There's a long road for him to go.
But then you're assuming that Andy Conside's going to be flawless near the end of the season.
No, I mean, it's on chance, isn't it? It's just on chance. I'm justifying why I'm taking Considine, and I'm also helping you justify why you're taking Gilmore.
Right, I think Lewis Ferguson is one of the best midfielders in Scotland this season. If he continues the way he has done, he'll
Ferguson was a tough one. I was very contemplated to chuck Ryan. I very contemplated to chuck. I think the main one for me was Chuck McLean, bring in Ferguson. That was the main one. But I stuck with McLean.
Right, on to attackers. I've got a couple of guys.
This is where it changes.
You had Forrest and Christie in your midfielders.
Yes, I did.
Right, I've got them in my attackers. So I'll give you some of the ones that I think we'll agree on. So I've got Forrest. Actually, I think we're going to agree on all of them. Attackers.
I've only got 22 players here. I've only got 22. I've numbered it 1 to 22. I'm bringing Lewis Ferguson. Cheers. That's a midfielder for you.
My attackers, I've got James Forrest, Ryan Fraser, Ryan Christie, Lee Griffiths, Lyndon Dykes and Kevin Nisbet.
You've dropped Buck?
Yes. What? Of course I fucking dropped Buck.
Just saying you've dropped Buck.
Of course I've dropped Buck. Have you not dropped Oli Burke?
It's first in my team sheet, mate.
Jesus
I'm joking, but bloody hell.
I've dropped Burke, Patterson and McBurnie. And
you've dropped McBurnie!
The only one I was close to was... The only one I was close to was McBurnie. I'm just
How's it
touch
feel?
And go with him.
How's it feel, mate?
You are honestly on this vendetta that I'm his biggest fan. I just don't say shite when he's not shite.
He's always shite.
He's not always shite.
Have you made your video for your own channel yet?
Not yet, but Mum would do it.
You're going to do it,
yeah.
Aye.
Try and balance out the McBurnie stuff.
Take a lot. Aye, okay, right. So I can't believe I've had 22 sitting in front of me this whole time. So nice to bring Lewis Ferguson in. Welcome, pal. He's now in my team too. My forwards. I've got Dykes in, of course. I've got Griffiths in, of course. Goodbye to Buck, goodbye to McBurnie, goodbye to Callum Patterson, and goodbye to Lawrence Shankland.
Yeah.
All four of them are gone for me, which means I still have 2 spaces, I believe, and that is Ryan Fraser, who is coming into my squad. Kevin Nisbet is coming into my squad, and I think that's my forwards. So. Nice. I think we're pretty even in forwards, aren't we? We've not made much of a difference there.
Yeah, so I've just got Forrest and Christie listed as attackers.
Because you can't leave out. I can't find any justification for bringing Shankland and not bringing Nisbet.
No, I
can't see it at all. Same with McBurnie.
It's actually bizarre to me that Shankland was in the last squad.
Yeah,
because
he's done nothing. He's absolutely nothing this season. I mean, right now he's looking like to be a big flop in the Premiership.
I think that's a bit harsh. He's got a couple of goals. I just think United are not. I'd said at the start of the season, if they don't create loads of chances from it, you'll struggle.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because Nicky Clark has stepped up on a few occasions.
Nicky Clark, though, whereas last season he would drop deep and get involved in the play. Shankland's very much on the shoulder.
Yeah, he kind of likes to poach her in there and get involved. Up there, where you get that deep line playmaker sort of role, you get that in kind of Nicky Clark. But look, for me, the forwards they're pretty dead on right now. I don't see many changes.
I mean, you've got 2 positions.
And I don't think much will change come the end of the season unless Shankland starts to look. I can guarantee right now, and I don't want to be driving that bus of just hate for Oli McBurnie, but
yes, you do.
I do love it. As I would say, I'm driving it. I'm driving it with many others.
Willing a Scotland player to fail.
I'm not willing for him to fail. I would love to see him turn it round. I can guarantee you he will not turn around at Sheffield United this season. He won't do anything. No. Sheffield United are gumph enough, never mind him. I'm not saying that's purely his fault. The whole team's pretty bang average, isn't it? Like, Sheffield United aren't going to do anything special this season, and McBurnie's certainly not going to do anything special.
If you look at his last 5 games for Scotland, I think he's had 2 bad ones and 3 decent ones. He was good off the bench against Slovakia and Czech Republic.
Yeah, you were ranting raving about them. Some of the games, obviously.
Really unlucky not to score in both of those games. At the weekend there, he missed 3 chances, but I think if he scores one of them, I think we're saying that was encouraging from McBurnie because he got in the position.
It's one of the things, isn't it? It's if spots and maybes.
What's killed him though is that he's been so poor for so long that it's almost too late for some people that he's starting to show signs. If he'd have done this in his first 5 caps, If the last 5 caps McBurnie were his first 5 caps, I think we'd all be like, oh, he could do a job here. But because he's had like 15 games, we've been absolutely guffed beforehand. It's just.
I'm firmly. I know you've got a bit more hope than I do for him, and you have a.
It's not even that. I think he's pretty. I don't think he's good enough to play international football. But I'm not going to call him shite when he's not shite.
I'm just on the. I'm with the voice of the people. He is simply not good enough.
I don't think he's good enough either, to be perfectly honest. But I also think that it's unfair to just call him shite when he's not.
But the thing is, he is shite. He is. He's not. He's just. And I can understand where you're coming from.
I think he's done games. Better than Oli Burke and Callum Patterson.
I wouldn't say he has.
But Callum Patterson and Oli Burke don't get the same abuse that Oli McBurnie does.
I think it's because you've got.
He's a Rangers fan.
You've got no. Well, if you
comes into it, it does come into it.
But you've got to remember as well. This is what was McBurnie's price.
This is. I'm gonna do a video on this because there is a lot of way to balance this out. Because there is that argument that a lot of people won't feel because he's a Rangers fan, but also. He's been pish, so no wonder people don't want to.
What was McBurnie's price tag?
20 million.
20 million quid. I think that is the driving factor more than anything.
I don't think that should affect international football though, because Scotland.
It's certainly when you're a player who is in the limelight of the Premier League money, it certainly does come into account.
But I mean, we also have forgotten he did a really good job at Swansea. Like he scored lots of goals, looked a constant threat. You know, and a lot of he doesn't look like a footballer. That's another thing that doesn't help him with his stupid fucking socks and his moustache. Pull them up, Ollie. Alright. Unless you're like Jack Grealish and you're a player, then you can do it.
Oh man! But I'll tell you what, David. I am not done yet. Even though we look done, I am not done yet. Here is my wild card for my Scotland squad.
What? As in like.
Next year.
We're getting a wild card pick. What?
Next year, I will drop this. I've been saving this. I will drop Andy Considine if what we should do, if possible, and looks to be possible, we can give James Taverner a call up to the Scotland squad.
Not for me.
You're joking.
Well, I mean,
we're going to take Tav.
Who says he wants to play for Scotland?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Wild card, if it's possible, which it looks to be technically. Don't know if he wants to.
I just don't get why he'd have any interest. Like, why would he?
To the Euros.
He's not got any Scottish connections. He's qualified through living here for 5 years. That's not the same as guys like McTominay who are English born, but McTominay absolutely loves it. His dad follows Scotland home and away. He's clearly got passion for it.
I know, but I think to pass up on a player of Taverner's quality at a tournament like that would be madness.
That's not for me.
So for me,
unless he's absolutely passionate about wanting to play for Scotland, not for me.
Could be.
I want guys that are going to actually love to. That's what we've loved about the last 2 games. You can see they want to be there, all of them. I don't think anyone could question anyone's commitment to the cause. Even McBurnie, for all he's not been great, clearly seems to want to be here now. Got a bit of passion for it. McTominay's the same. McTominay just loving it more than else.
Look, if we manage to get McBurnie back into this team and manage to get him back playing and looking passionate for the country,
and plus we're good at penalties. We don't fucking need to.
After appearing in the tunnel for Sheffield United, saying he didn't want to play for Scotland, then for me, you can make an argument for James Taverner.
How many times will how many conversations in your life will you said Scotland are pish? I can't be asked watching them. It's like, do you know what I mean?
But I have. But the reality is, I have watched them. through pain and agony, I have watched them. It may not be entertaining. I may not talk about it after.
But Oli McBurnie, just because he had a joke with his mates that he couldn't be asked playing for Scotland because Scotland were pish at the time. Listen, there would have been times where John McGinn will have gone, oh fucking Scotland are shite just now, man. There will have been times where that's happened. It just wouldn't have been caught on camera. I'm not having that as like.
Tell you what,
the Tavernier thing's a bit bizarre.
You know what you should do? You should get me McBurnie face sticker. Put it there. You'd like that, mate.
That's just a joke. You're just pleading to your audience because you know fine well they all hate him.
No wonder. I mean,
on this video I've said he's pish and not good enough for international football, but you think I love the guy. I just feel
like you've got a secret.
No, there's just a vendetta that people are just constantly in a tirade of abusing the guy because they like it for some reason. I've never seen a Scotland it's like what Chris Martin used to get it all the time. People enjoyed berating him when he was playing for Scotland. Fucking support him. I don't care how pish he is. Don't constantly abuse him just for the sake of it. He's been pish, and when he's pish, how many times in this show have I called him out for being rank rotten? My catchphrase used to be McBurnie on TV off.
That's what I don't get.
I say that all the time.
I remember back at the start when we started this episode because
he was dreadful all the time back then, all the time. He didn't have one good game for Scotland. In the last 5, he's looked at times okay. He was shocking against Serbia. One of the worst substitute performances I've ever seen. He was dreadful. But against Czech Republic, he did really well, as he did against Slovakia. At the weekend, yes, he should have scored, but if he'd have scored a goal at the weekend...
Mince at the weekend. Absolute mince. Don't hide away from it. It was mince,
If he'd have put one of them chances away, you'd have said
but
he was
that's
mince.
if, but so maybe if Griffiths were...
Right,
I was about to say,
and
it's if, but maybe if Griffiths...
I'm telling my own video that I'm going to do here, but if that was Kevin Nisbet's first game for Scotland weekend and he put the same performance in that McBurnie did, we just said, oh, he was unlucky not to get a goal there. But
I get
in
that.
the
I do that's a really good point. I do get that.
So this is where I think you need to balance it out.
It's just been
yes.
but it's like, how many chances do you give though?
Of course. But whilst he's in the squad, there's fuck all we can do about it. So there's no point just going, oh, he's shite. Well, he's still pulled on the shirt. You know, let's fucking at least try and not constantly berate the guy.
You know what Scottish football fans are like.
Exactly, that's my head.
You know what we're all like. We've all had that feeling with players at our own clubs as well. I'm sure you've had players at Dunfermline who you want to support, you just can't sometimes.
Robbie Muirhead.
Exactly.
Fucking woeful.
Same argument. You should be saying that about him. He's pulling on the shirt. Let's support him. You know,
he was worse than McBurnie. He was the worst footballer
I've had the feeling where Jack Hitt's now Shane Duffy. We should be rallying round and supporting the guy, but it's just too hard. Sometimes I've had chance after chance after chance, and I can feel the frustrations of Scotland fans doing it with McBurnie, and that is reality of what being a fan in Scotland is like. Patience is not thick, very, very thin. If you don't impress, fans will not take to you. We know that.
We're on our way to the Euros, man.
We're all positive. We are positive.
If they're pulled in the dark blue, I'm going to cheer them. I don't give a shit. And if they're dreadful, yes, okay.
So, do you want to run through our squads very quickly to end off the video so that we can have a vote?
By the way, I'm looking at mine and I'm like, that is just. Oh,
I like my team as well, mate. Honestly, I can see why. Look, so the big ones is you've got Gilmore and I haven't.
I just think if you swap
so basically,
Considine
is Considine and Gilmore the only big kind of?
Is it the only difference? And you go and McLean for who have I got?
Because I've got Ferguson as well.
So you've got McLean and Taylor. I don't have either of them. I've got Ferguson and Gilmore.
We'll see when it's side by side.
You sure you get 23 players, not more than that?
No, I did. Right, so I have. Right, I'll run through and I'll count with my wee fingy wingies.
I'll count. You talk.
All right. Okay. Craig Gordon, David Marshall, John McLaughlin, Andy Considine, Liam Cooper, Declan Gallagher, Scott McKenna, Stephen O'Donnell, Liam Palmer, Andy Robertson, Greg Taylor, Kieran Tierney. How many are we on now? 12. Good. Stuart Armstrong, Ryan Christie, Ryan Jack, John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Kenny McLean, Scott McTominay. What's that?
19.
Lyndon Dykes, Lee Griffiths, Kevin Nisbet. What's that?
23.
What's that?
You arsehole.
Right, so bye Ferguson.
Couldn't count the first guys.
Mate,
right, and then we'll run through mine because I've got the numbers correct. David Marshall, Craig Gordon, Robbie McCrory, Stephen O'Donnell, Liam Palmer. I almost forgot his first name there. Is it Liam
How
Palmer?
have I managed that?
What is that?
I know how I've managed it. See on my notes, I've skipped.
Right, anyway, it doesn't matter. O'Donnell, Palmer, Kieran Tierney, Declan Gallagher, Liam Cooper, Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay, Scott McKenna, John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Ryan Jack, Stuart Armstrong, Lewis Ferguson, Billy Gilmore, James Forrest, Ryan Fraser, Ryan Christie, Lee Griffiths, Lyndon Dykes, and Super Kevin Nisbet.
Two very good teams.
Very good teams.
You know, no much separating them. But as we've said,
I could pick 2 11s out of that team and they'd be very strong.
It will change come May. It'll probably change big time. There'll be injuries, there'll be form.
There's something we did yesterday, and it's something that what I've discussed in the comments because we discussed it yesterday. If you had to pick one player not to get injured, who would it be from that squad? That's what we want to know.
Good questions for the people. One player that couldn't get injured.
Lock it so he couldn't get injured ahead of the Euros. One player.
Youth.
Lyndon Dykes.
Dykes. We both agreed. We both said Dykes, but for the sake of video and entertainment purposes, I'll go John McGinn. Yeah. But we did both agree on Dykes initially. And that's it. So David, thank you very much. It was a pleasure as always. I look forward to seeing your video on McBurnie, which I'm sure will cause a bit of a. I've done it plenty of times. No, it's good. It's a good laugh. And we've got a podcast due out. Well, we might be having a wee game of football tomorrow. We don't know. Yeah. So it depends on the whole lockdown.
3 or 4 might have knackered us, but.
Aye, so might have knackered us. So we may have a podcast tomorrow. If not, definitely Friday. We'll be back on the Monday as well for the review. And then we'll just keep moving forward as normal.
Yeah, we'll need some ideas for some stuff to do next week.
Yeah, we do. We need a wee bit here and there.
Because
who knows? Celtic might get beat off Hibs, and then Neil Lennon might be gone, and might have to make a video application for the job. Yeah. So soon see. Anyway,
taking fucking Andy Considine with you, won't you?
My assistant manager sitting on his iPad. Like and subscribe as always. Share the video. Let us know who you think has the best Scotland 23-man squad in the comments below, and we'll see you all next time.